Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are having an incredible day, an incredible week. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. And we are back today with day 12 of our 30-day meditation challenge. And so today we are going to be discussing working with the heart chakra blockages, which, of course, it's one of the most difficult parts and the part that causes the biggest blockage in creating stagnation of infinite life force that comes in through the body and becomes stuck in the center core of the emotional body. And so, a lot of times, what ends up happening is that we end up creating a huge blockage of emotions in the solar plexus. And all the accumulation of these emotions, all of the stagnant thought forms that are in the root, in the sacral, in the solar, begin to create heavy long term blockages. Now, when we talk about blockages, we are talking about um, in a sense, it is consciousness that rejects itself, that is an extension of our own self, turns into a stagnation. So, in an example, imagine a snake that sheds its skin. This skin now is discarded. So, what happens to us when we create blockages is that we're creating this kind of disconnect in our events, a fragmentation. And instead of shedding it, we hold on to it and we keep it in our space. So this is what ends up happening. And a lot of times, this kind of heavy stuff gets stuck in the multidimensional body and now cannot move through in the physical body. So this is where we begin to have a lot of problems, and it just creates stagnation over stagnation, and primarily in the heart chakra creates a blockage in the heart. So, what we're going to work on today is we're going to be working on clearing out these kinds of blockages from the heart center, because these are things that really create chaos in our perception of ourselves and in the perception of others. And the primary moment when these blockages enter into the body are usually between birth and the age of 7, in which we primarily create all of our programs for how we're going to be interacting with the divine feminine and masculine going forward into the future, into our lives. And so, what ends up happening is that it creates a lot of chaos where we are completely disconnected with our true emotions. And little by little, the child, especially when it hits puberty, ends up completely connecting, creating a disconnect between its true emotions and the way that it's perceiving the world around it. And this kind of disconnect, and of course, what it's receiving from the world, what the world is telling it that things should be. The intuitive child, of course, ourselves as children, we're always quite empathic and quite open to this information. But what ends up happening is because we keep feeling a resistance in our environment for truth, for that openness, for that heart space and that open connection to source, that open heart space interaction, communication, authenticity, we create layers and layers of protection in order to not experience trauma, not experience suffering, not experience pain. And so what happens is that the child then grows layers and layers of this information, embedding further these programs and thought forms of unworthiness, feelings of not being good enough, all of these thought forms that affect how one sees themselves is primarily kept and stored in the heart chakra. And of course, those are interconnected with fears in the root chakra of safety, being in the body, whether we are safe in our environment or safe in our body. Is it safe to be who we are or not safe? And in the sacral, in regards to relationships, anytime there was abuse of any kind, anytime the exchanges with the world were seen as imbalanced and not productive for well-being, for safety, for security, for wellness of the organism. And so this human then creates, again, more barriers in that sacral. And of course, the fears are mostly around embodying intimacy, becoming intimate with the self, intimate with others, being able to see themselves as one truly is without hiding or having to be fearful of how they're seen. And all of these thought forms, these limiting beliefs about the self and other things that are experiencing outside of us begin to distort the way that we see the world. And the heart chakra then becomes incredibly disconnected. There is no connection. There is a fear between the higher intuitive self and the physical body. And all of that happens as a result of these continued fragmentations, trauma, and disconnect into the intuitive higher self. So, what has to happen is that the human needs to practice, needs to connect, nurturing with all those parts into the integration of the self. And as we work through the heart center, which is the fourth layer in the fourth layer in the body right now is heavily targeted by the celestial movements that we're experiencing at this time, because it feels like it's harder to embody love, it's harder to embody forgiveness, it's harder to surrender, it's harder to be vulnerable in spaces because of so much turmoil and contrast that we're experiencing. So the idea is that we begin to connect those empty spaces, those spaces where we have created disconnects, so that we can begin to embody that unity with yourself and everything that we have created as separate from us. So in the heart chakra, we are going to work with working and healing the fourth layer. We're going to look at ancestral blockages in the heart chakra. We're going to look at any kind of emotional blockages and thought forms that create heavy traumas. And we're also going to be looking at the physical aspects of the body. So anytime that we start taking on physical ailments as a result of heart, broken hearts, disconnect, unworthiness, all of these emotions that are counter creative, how they start affecting the body. And one of the areas that's targeted the most is the heart, the lungs, the respiratory system, and the thymus. The thymus is affected, and of course, that regulates the body. And when that is out of balance, we really end up having all kinds of autoimmune diseases, all kinds of situations in the body where the body begins to deconstruct. And this is what happens, the result of what happens when there is a disconnect between the higher self and the physical aspect of ourselves. And the majority of people that have a hard time sitting still in meditation, have a hard time focusing, people that are experiencing ADHD and any kind of disconnect with the present moment, a lot of times have severe fragmentation in the heart center. And there is a blockage between that connection. Also, it'll create blockages in the digestive system, which a lot of these cords are heavily connected from the heart into every single one of the chakras, because every time that we experience trauma, we know that it's multifaceted. It has to do with many different things that are triggered in that moment. So if the triggers are complex, if they involve many different programs that were created at that time, they will affect any of the lower three chakras as well. So more than likely, these blockages are connected to the heart center, either from the front or the back of the body, into the spinal cord, and all the way into the chakras, the solar, the sacral, and the root. In order to remove these kinds of cords, we need to access the root belief systems. And by accessing, we mean acknowledging, by acknowledging where and how this traumatic experience affected other parts of our psyche, other parts of our emotions, other parts of our body. And all of that is found by tracing that root into those core parts of the body. So when we access that information, removing these cords is a matter of first acknowledging and then understanding and supporting yourself in understanding that you are able to replace those kinds of thoughts with something more productive. This process is incredibly important. We need to understand that there is an opposing thought form that is more constructive. If we don't understand that there is an opposing energy or consciousness or thought form, the human body has a very hard time, mind, body, and soul, sustaining that healing. So it really has to be a profound understanding that we can heal, that we can change this thought form by understanding really what it is, how it's affecting us, why it's affecting us, whether it's good or bad for us, and being absolutely truthful with those responses when we identify those truths. A lot of times, some of us have visited this trauma many, many times in many healings, and they continue to repeat the same thing over again. It keeps coming up. And the reason why that is because it hasn't been properly healed. It hasn't been addressed. The root cause has not been identified, and the opposing life force has not replaced that root damage. It hasn't healed the damage that that thought form has created. And the damage is physical, emotional, and energetic. So all three of those areas have to be fully integrated by the human in order for the human to really create a strong foundation of understanding. And as the human creates healing in each one of these little reference points of trauma, little by little, all of these patterns turn into one major trauma that you end up realizing that it's all based in the concept of separation, that you see yourself as separate from something. And all of that translates into a plethora of different experiences, traumatic events, and disconnects from the self. So, again, this is the journey of embodying and reconnecting to the whole, becoming whole equals healing. Healing means becoming whole. So we become whole. We repair those parts of us. So in the heart, when we remove these attachments from the heart center, making sure that whoever we are interconnected with in those planes, in those dimensional experiential planes, we are calling back the life force into the body. This is a very important element to healing because we don't realize that energy does not just disappear. Energy, unless it's consciously reallocated, stays connected into those spaces because it's known, it's comfortable, and it's conscious, it's aware, and it's an extension of ourselves. So, in order to heal, we have to call back our life force into the body from any disbursement that may have occurred through traumas, through any experiences in life. And the awareness of man really comes into play when it begins to become aware in all of these different experiences, even throughout your day. As you wake up in the morning, you become aware of yourself and you begin to interact in the world. You begin to observe that every moment is a potential choice for you. All of these potential moments that are a choice for you provide an opportunity to wake up, to make the choice of either embodying robotic, uh, artificial responses that are mechanical, or coming into free will and becoming this organic co creator. So, this is the importance of this healing. And today we're going to focus on the heart center. We're going to start with the heart center, and then and this whole week we're going to be focusing on each one of the different chakras and focus on healing and reintegrating each one of them. This is essential to allowing your source connection and to growing your light. Without doing the work in these energy systems of the body, really you won't progress very much because you are this. This is you. All the information that is stored within these energy centers are what are expressing holographically into your field. So that's where the work is. This is where the wonderful self-love comes into play, and we begin to actually work with what needs to happen. So before I continue, I want to thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and share this out to our group. How's everybody doing tonight? I am so happy to be here and really happy to connect with you guys. All righty. So let's go ahead and just put that out. Anybody that would like to join us. And we're going to get started. So anybody having any blockages in the healing work that we set up for this weekend? Anybody feeling that it was difficult to do any of the work? Please let me know. Post it down below. Oops. Post it down below and let me know if you guys have ran into any blockages in the healing work that you've done so far. righty. All right, loved ones. Let's see. Very happy to be here as well. So happy you're here. Hello. Hey, I cannot read your name. It's in Arabic. It's been a long time, so I'm not sure how to read that. But thank you so much for being here. Luana, so good to see you, Luana. EXK, welcome. Maribon, how are you? So great to see you. And Joe, thank you. Maribon says, yes, I have a past life experience that I'm trying to heal. Okay, very good. So just really briefly, let's talk about the past life. How do we reintegrate from past lives? So remember that past lives is a repetitive kind of program that's happening. So the idea is notice the emotion of the self, the fragment that was experiencing that past life. It's the same. Notice the emotions of this being. What triggered that emotion, and why are they still seeing things as separation in that life? What are the tools that are required in order for them to shift in that moment? And through that process, allow information to embody in this aspect of yourself. And notice how they begin to play out differently, the experience that they're having. Notice how they grow from it. Notice how they change. Now, when you're connected to these past lives, there's a couple of things that need to be noticed. First of all, it is complex. It's not so simple. There are many factors that play a role in that. But one of them have to do with our ancestral lineage. So more than likely, the person you've interacted in a past life is someone that has incarnated in this lifetime that you're also experiencing challenges with, or it's an archetype that you continue to see in someone that you're interacting with today. So go ahead, and if you can identify who that might be, it will really help you in reintegrating, from these experiences. Now, the other part is that once you identify who that person is, you're going to notice that your cord, the connection that you have to them with ancestral information, is incredibly filled with important information about what your soul needs in your spiritual journey. So it's important to tap in and read and understand what that influence is in that spiritual journey. And as you begin to clear that up, all of the ancestors that have been shared in that ancestral lineage will more than likely come present. And you can begin to access the information as to what they needed, because they are a fragment of yourself. So go ahead and visualize reintegrating from all of those ancestral lineages to help and reintegrate. Okay. And be sure to cut cords, even with the past life aspects of yourself. Make sure you gather all of your fragments in that past life, because it's the same thing that keeps going again. And that's how we can reintegrate that one. All right. Great. So let's go down here. Joe Pesci. Hey, Joe, how are you? Luana, same resistance. Oh, some resistance. Yeah, we're dealing with some resistance. What are we resisting, Luana? Yes, I have a past life experience. Okay. Brad says, good evening, Geraldine. I'm on my way to Mount Shasta. Ooh la la, that's so nice. I hope you enjoy your trip. Anita says, hello, Geraldine. Hello, beloved Anita. Hello. Natalie says, a lot of family energy I'm healing. Had a lot of mental fog in the past 2 days and a lot of pressure in my crown and sixth. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, so family things are really coming up. So this is something that we want to address. Now, as I was mentioning a little bit earlier today with working with family, it's kind of like we keep meeting ourselves in this family. So what's the repetitive pattern that we have with the family? What's the trigger? That trigger, when you identify that trigger, that's the gold right there. That's what you want to dive deep into, unpack and understand. Once you dissolve that part, that understanding, it's a game changer. It'll completely change the way that you're interacting with your family. And the idea is that we learn to embody more love. Crown and sixth. We're going to be working on crown and sixth chakra later on this week. So please stay tuned for that. Amy, I'm so glad you're here, Amy. The peace factor, the P factor. Hello, I'm so glad to see you here. Welcome. Well, let's get started, everyone. We're going to begin by inhaling deeply and exhaling. And for anybody that is just tuning in, we are working on healing heart chakra on all dimensional layers in the fourth dimensional plane. Breathing deeply. So, as you begin to breathe, we're going to just ground down to the center of the earth, connecting, anchoring. Go ahead and visualize the protective field around your body. And as you connect with your body after potentially a long day or maybe early morning, depending on what part of the world you're in, I want you to tune in to your energetic field and immediately begin to repair where you start feeling any holes, any tears in the energetic field. Go ahead and repair them, breathing deeply. Making sure that we are all intuitively tuning into the body. Wherever we start seeing heavy energies, heavy blockages, and removing those out. So, everybody tune into your body. With every breath you take, we are using our senses. Some of us might hear, some of us might feel, some of us might taste. We might just know that things are in our space. I want you to sense it. And it's almost as if you're feeling the space in between the physical body and your auric field. Okay, as you begin to tune into that space, just noticing the variations of energy, and you can literally run your hand around your body, around your space, if you're more of a sensory person, and you'll notice that the energy becomes light and heavy in certain areas. You're also going to notice that there's heat in certain parts of the body. Heat is where there's heavy, stagnant energy in the body. And so we can direct that. Maybe you don't see cords, but you will feel it as a warmth in your body, or a heaviness, or a tension, or a pain in the muscles. So go ahead and notice your language. Everyone has a different language that they attune to. That language is a gift. And as you begin to tap into that, just go ahead and remove any kind of heaviness that you feel in the body. Go ahead and let go of your experiences. Okay. Go ahead and repair now your field all around you. Envisioning yourself enclosed inside of an energetic field made out of something that you can visualize easily, something impenetrable. Very good. Okay. With every breath you take, grounding yourself, anchoring yourself down to the center of the earth. And we're going to begin. We're going to start by closing the root chakra down to the size of a dime, front and back. The front of the body is the feminine, the back is the masculine. So, where are we storing things? Where are we storing things? Okay. Very good. And as we sit in this stillness, becoming comfortable with the silence, go ahead and begin to tune in now as you go into the second, the sacral chakra, closing that chakra down to the size of a dime. Breathing deeply. Going up to the solar plexus. Breathing deeply. Closing down that chakra down to the size of a dime. It's like a vortex or like a flower that you are just gently closing down. And when we close the chakra, nothing is turning off, nothing is disconnecting. All you are doing is you are resetting what is connected into that space. Okay, so just allowing for yourself to heal. And as you do this, go ahead and visualize breathing, inhaling back your life force into your body. You'll notice that you become slightly more energized as you do this because you are grounding in your body. Okay, going up to the heart now. We're going to open that heart chakra as wide as possible. Going up to the throat, open that throat, front and back. Third eye, open third eye, front and back. Okay, so now you look kind of like this, like the letter Y, where your first three are closed, your top three are open. And the purpose is that you are now in reading state. You have activated your higher bodies, the higher dimensions. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh dimension is active. And you're perceiving the world from this space now, which is more in the non-physical realms, the intuition. So now that you're here, tuned into your intuition, I want you to begin to run some energy through your body. Today, I want you to select a color that represents healing for you. Go ahead and select a color that represents healing. What color is that? The first color that comes to mind. Okay. And we're going to bring that color up from the center of the earth up into the body. And it's going to begin to move, rotate around the body, creating a vortex all around us. This healing energy is going to pick up debris from the multidimensional body, the 13 layers, clearing out everything that doesn't serve us. From the universe, from source, we're going to bring down a powerful wave of gold cosmic light, and I want you to mix it with your healing color. Bring that energy around you as if you feel that you are having like a vortex or a swirling water that kind of goes through every single dimensional plane, picking up debris. And you're going to breathe through this process. It really will feel like waves of an ocean that is kind of coming over you in waves, healing and clearing the body. So you're mixing a healing color, any color that you see as healing, with gold cosmic life force. As you visualize this moving through the body, we're going to go ahead and send 10% back down to the center of the earth. You're going to channel whatever you're picking up down to the center core, eliminating out of your body. And whatever doesn't serve you will leave your space now. Breathing. Feeling that energy. It's really feeling it in the root chakra, in the sacral chakra, as we eliminate down. The first three chakras, the first three layers, bodies are the ones that are mostly affected by this practice. Okay. You're going to take it now, a larger percentage of that up your spine, and you're going to clear it out. into the outside of your field. Whatever your protection is, you're going to coat the outside of your protection. You're going to clear your environment. Imagine the room that you're in filling with this healing and gold cosmic energy, picking up debris in your energetic space. Our space is the extension of our body. So whatever is happening here is expressing itself in our environment. If there's chaos internally, there's chaos externally. Whether it's messy, whether it's arguments, whether it's disharmony, whether it's tension, or whether we are battling with spirits or ghosts that are working in our space, notice that. Go ahead and clear your space energetically, even with ET contact. All of that is charged within our energetic space. So we clear it out. And the reason why we take a larger percentage is because our environment is quite big. And in this moment, we are neutralizing our connection to the matrix or the illusion. Wherever there's deception, wherever we're not seeing things through the highest bodies, those are areas that are siphoning our life force. So breathe deeply and bring back your life force into your body. Bring it back into the body. Very good. Go ahead and go back to your solar plexus now. We're going to take that final amount and we're going to put it up the spine, down the arms, and you're going to fill healing color and gold cosmic energy into the body now. This is the most important part. So as you feed this life force, healing energy, this is the recipe for your health, because you have chosen a vibrational frequency that is unique to you. So go ahead and visualize pulling that into the pores, into the muscles. If you have muscle pains, if you have tightness, this will release that. It will heal that. Into the bones. If you have aches, pains in the joints, heal that. All of that is emotional information that has become stagnant. And as soon as you become aware of what that stagnation is, pain releases. Pain releases. Beautiful. Excellent. Excellent. Breathe health into the body, vitality. Notice how there is more room for love here. So just by doing this beginning of the meditation, we already expanded the heart center even more so. And all of it has to do with awareness, mind-body connection, not seeing anything as fearful, but we are recognizing our true self in all its glory and all its expression in the non-physical. So now that you're here, I want you to begin to work with the heart center. Go ahead and focus on the heart layer of your body. And we're going to tune into the fourth layer of the body. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Heart center. The heart center of the body is the heart chakra. The fourth layer is a holographic reflection of what is occurring in the heart chakra. It's an extension. So we're going to begin at the crown of the head. And I want you to imagine that you are going to be going around in a spiral, looking at every angle of this heart body, your heart center body. And I want you to notice all of the stagnation, any blockages, any heaviness, any rips, tears, distortions. If you feel like you are missing one side of your body or you cannot see one side of your body, notice all of these little things. The perfect layer of the body is completely whole with no tears. It is a bright color. It is a solid color without any interruptions. So go ahead and notice what is in your heart chakra. Begin to move through your multidimensional body. And don't try to repair anything yet. We are just observing. We are just becoming aware of what is there in the body. You might also notice that in the fourth layer, there are cords that enter into the body from the fourth layer inside of the physical body and also outwardly. You're identifying and you're seeing cords to people, places, and things that are siphoning life force in the heart center. Okay, this can be obviously, let's say, bad relationships, relationships with family, with friends, with loved ones. And then, of course, there's the relationship with yourself. So identify what you're seeing as you look around. Okay, notice any damage that has accumulated there from the years past. What's our stories that have accumulated and settled themselves in the multidimensional body? Okay. As you begin to scan around the body, we are now going to begin to heal and restore the fourth layer, the fourth dimensional body. Go ahead and begin looking at everything you've acknowledged. What's the biggest area that needs attention? Take your attention there first. Okay. So some of you that are here in this room with us, we have heavy, big holes in the back of the body. And those big, heavy holes are occurring because we've neglected important information of heartbreak, important information of intimate relationships, relationships that have really hurt us. And they have been so traumatic that we just stuffed it in the back. And we really are afraid to kind of deal with it or look at it. So it's accumulated in the back. And the back of the heart chakra ends up literally becoming like this, like crust. It becomes a crust layer. It's hard and it begins to break after a while. So go ahead and visualize that you're going to clear out any kind of blockage that is there. Okay. And go ahead and tune in to any cords that you might find in the back of the body. And I want you to intuitively read, who is this cord connected to? Immediately, you're going to get an image of someone, a memory. It can be recent or it can be in the past. Go ahead and tune into that. Okay. And now you're going to begin to feel the cord stronger now that you've identified. Okay. Go ahead and check in the body where it's connected to. Where is that cord connected to in the body? Okay. And as you can see, I want you to ask yourself, is the belief that's created from this cord, is that true? Okay. And I want you to look at the broader picture of these questions. Okay. I want you to see the fragment of yourself that lives inside that cord. Tune into that. Take a look at your fragment. What does it look like? All of these are ways to see information. The information might come to you as a memory. It might come to you as a feeling, as an emotion. It might come to you as a fragment, a visual fragment of yourself. So using your senses, tune into what it's telling you. What does your fragment look like? And what does it need in order to be incredibly a bright expression of itself? What does it need to heal? You will quickly acknowledge it needs forgiveness, it needs love, it needs gratitude, it needs acceptance, it needs acknowledgement, it needs love. All of the things that you might identify, I want you to provide it to that fragment. Give that fragment all that it needs. All that it needs. You might notice that one of the most important things that it needs is itself. It needs itself. It needs its deep connection to the self. And the deeper you go into these inquiries, you'll notice that that's always the answer. But it'll take time to see that immediately. And you need to go through that process little by little. So allow the self to absorb everything that it requires in that moment, showing it how to return back to itself, how to embody its source connection, which is unconditional love for itself and all things. Provide it that information. As it absorbs into that body, see it transform. See it transform, and go ahead and inhale that transformation into the body and release the cord from the back of your body or wherever in your body you're working on. Release it. Okay. Now we're going to create a vortex outside of our house, whether it's a window or a wall. Go ahead and send all of that into that vortex. That vortex connects directly to source. You're just going to breathe in deeply, taking back your life force, and release. Release. Go ahead and heal that part of the body. Bring white source light, healing, restoring that space. You might feel warmth in that part of the body as you heal it. You might feel warm in your body as you're healing. This is good. This is energy moving. As you can see, you can feel it. So trust what you are experiencing. Okay. Go ahead and continue on to the next area that needs repair in your field. As you begin to scan, looking for the next place. Now, what you might find now is perhaps something different. Perhaps it's a blockage, okay? And a lot of times blockages are located here in the front of the body. So go ahead and notice where we are sensing those blockages. And if it's a huge, big mass of energy, I want you to change the shape into something very simple. It can be an apple, it can be a piece of paper, it could be a rock, whatever it is. Change its shape of this blockage into something that can be easily dissolvable. Okay. And you're going to bring white source light, and you're going to imagine that a vacuum is coming to pull that out of your space and just let it go, release it. You don't need to really go into the stories. You don't need to go into why. You just remove it from your space. And as you inhale deeply, claiming back your life force, you let go, creating neutrality. Notice how you begin to feel lighter. Aches and pains become lighter as well. Any kind of heaviness is released. Keep moving, working through your field. As you clear all of these cords, all of these blockages out of your space, you can swiftly begin to move now that you've learned how to release it from your body, how to properly call back your life force into your body. And you will little by little begin to see your energetic field of the fourth layer becoming whole again, becoming healed. And you're going to feel warmth in the heart center because it's healing. So as you do this, I'm also going to show you now how to begin to repair the heart chakra. The chakras function like vortices with ribbons of vortexes that are creating one giant vortex. Each ribbon of vortex is actually information based and connected to different parts of the body. The ribbons that are connected to the vortex are interconnected, and it's a map of your whole body. It is basically a mini map of your energetic field. So what you'll notice is that some parts of the chakra, imagine this is the chakra, some parts are broken, or it looks like half is missing, or it feels like some of it is torn in half, or sometimes it's separate in two pieces, sometimes it's shattered in the middle. So I want you to notice, what does your chakra look like to you? And trust the very first image that pops into the head, even if it's something abstract. Begin to look at what that is. It's going to give you information as to what's going on. So as you begin to see your chakra now, whatever you healed externally is going to reflect here. Whatever is still old and still in your traumatic records will be here. So what we need to do is we need to correct that. From the center of the chakra is the vortex that connects to source up the spine, up into all of the main endocrine systems of the body, including the pineal gland, going all the way up to source. And this thread of white light that connects and feeds and informs the chakras become distorted. So we're going to unblock it by visualizing that you're combing each one of these ribbons of vortex that are surrounding the chakra system. So you can utilize your hands or just your imagination. I want you to visualize that you are unfolding this chakra. You are clearing out the ribbons, almost as if you are brushing through the fibers. Literally, it looks like a fiber. And there's the reason why I like to use macro images of things is because it really shows in the microscopic level how our chakras also look like. These fibrous ribbons, vortex ribbons, when we pull them back out into place, we begin to release any heavy stagnation that is blocking the flow of life force in through the natural movement of the chakra. And that's why chakras stop rotating, get stagnant, because they're not spinning in the proper direction and the proper movement. They're super enlarged or they're paralyzed. So go ahead and visualize opening that chakra with your hands, reading into your space. With every breath you take, allowing yourself to clear that chakra and spinning it fast as you clean now. The faster you spin the chakra, the more you're going to release out of your space. And sometimes people become fearful in this process. You will feel an anxiety come up, or you will feel a heaviness in the root chakra or the abdomen, the solar plexus, something that feels like anxiety. And a lot of times people that experience trauma have that come up for them when they're cleaning the chakras, because they're afraid of letting go of something that felt very comfortable. And unfortunately, that comfortable thing is causing blockage and more suffering. So this is a part, as above, so below, in every layer of healing, another layer that we have to become okay with surrender. So allow yourself to surrender to any feelings that might feel, fearful of letting go or healing or seeing your own truth. Okay. With every breath you take, breathing deeply. As you restore your chakra, you're going to see it blooming into this properly moving, flowing vortex of a crystalline color. So go ahead and see what color it is. Also, the colors will tell you a lot about what's happening. Okay. And chakra colors are not always for everybody the same color. You need to see what color is in your chakra because everybody's experiences are different. So go ahead and see there as you clear it out, bringing it back, restoring it. And I'm going to give you a minute to do that for a moment as you breathe. Bringing white source light now, bringing a wave of white light, and you're going to direct it at your heart center. I want you to ground and I want you to embody love, acceptance, and you're going to channel through your hands this white light into the heart center, healing. You're going to visualize that this white light is pouring into the heart and extending out into the fourth layer, healing and repairing, healing and repairing. And it's going to begin to trickle down that white light. Once you've repaired the fourth layer into the third, into the second, into the first, repairing all the layers within layers of the fourth dimensional plane. Our chakras are embedded in all chakra systems. So there is a hologram of your fourth chakra, of your fourth dimensional layer in all of the other dimensional layers. Okay. This is how information gets stuck into other areas of the body. So go ahead and visualize clearing out, healing, restoring, filling up that space. And as you feel that white light trickle down your spine, going into the solar, going into the sacral, going into the root, healing all of the belief systems of the inversions of true love, of unconditional love that exist in the root, in the sacral, in the solar. Going up into the throat now, clearing, communication, expression. All of the belief systems that hinder our expression in unconditional love. Going up to the third eye, all of the beliefs that hinder our ability to trust, to embody our intuitive self. Open that up. See that white light go up. You're going to see your entire spinal cord lit up with this white light and all of your chakras clearing, healing from the spinal cord front and back. Okay. You'll notice that it really feels like more energy is flowing through the body as you clean the spinal cord, going up into the pineal gland. You're going to activate your crown. Go ahead and clean the crown with the white light, spinning it as fast as possible. And in our center for manifestation, so clearing all of the beliefs that limit our ability to create, to manifest, because we're not seeing things from the eyes of unconditional love. Excellent. Go ahead and visualize sealing your body in your energetic field as you begin to heal all the layers of the body, extending that white light out to the farthest field of the body and creating such a powerful protection for you here in this body. Very good. Very good. Okay. Anybody else still feeling heavy emotions now? Heaviness in the heart? Go ahead and embody love. You're going to feel love. This is the 0 point. This is the bliss that is capable of achieving through the physical body. In this state of love and acceptance is where illness does not exist, where manifestation can create from, and where the human begins to understand its free will. So as you begin to feel that love in the body, you're going to bring that white light down through the crown of your head, activating the 8th, activating the 9th. As you go up to these higher chakras, I want you to notice which one feels difficult to open, to activate. That's the one that is connected to the heart blockages. So go ahead and keep going into the 9th, into the 10th, into the 11th, into the 12th, into the 13th, and above you is a powerful white light of source. Go ahead and connect up into that white light. And as you connect up into that white light of source, go ahead and bring down that white light down over the body as you anchor it down through the perineum into the center of the earth. And you're going to allow that energy to flow through the body, clearing out any final blockages in the body. Growing your light, expanding your light wider around you. Okay, we're going to start by opening the root chakra back up. We're going to open the sacral. We're going to open the solar. You're going to close the heart just a little bit, back into balanced state. The throat, just a little bit. The third eye. And activating your crown nice and big. Setting the intention that everything that you're doing in this moment, moving forward, is in alignment with your highest expression and nothing else. In all areas of your life, abundance, relationships, family, health, education, spiritual work, and your purpose. Fill that in. Very good. Go ahead and open your eyes and come back into the room. And I want to thank you so much for working with me today. You guys did an amazing job. And I just want you to notice, where was it hard for you to visualize some of this? And I'm sure that maybe you may want to revisit this and kind of work with some of that information again and help yourself repair. Some of the information you might find here might feel difficult to work with. I want you to be very patient and compassionate with yourself. Remember that the purpose is that we understand and we train ourselves through these exercises how to embody unconditional love. Very good. So thank you again for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. All my love. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Hey, man from Daytona. So good to see you. Latonazine, hello. Jeremy, welcome. Brad, I like to use gold energy, and I also love gold liquid light. Yes, absolutely. That's amazing. Good morning from Germany. Hello, Meline. Such a beautiful name. Wonderful to see you. One love, welcome. Angie, Lisa, Julie from Denver, Colorado. Welcome, my love. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, my love. I get very emotionally moved here. Wow, Lisa, there's a lot going on there. So definitely nurture yourself. You are so loved. All of you are amazing. And the P factor says, thank you for your visual assistance in recent meditations. You are so welcome. And I hope that it helps support. Okay. All right, everyone. Love you very much, Anita. Have a wonderful night. Mary Bond, thank you so much. I'm so glad you feel better. And there's many more topics that we will address this week that will cover all the things that you have mentioned here today. All my love. See you soon. Bye-bye.